And this is my personal opinion. It's my podcast. But given what we've learned about Fort Huachuca, an intel base that literally trains Christians, I'm asking myself, was she just training?
Just when people thought the Erika Kirk drama had finally cooled off, Candace Owens kicked up another huge storm online, and social media instantly went wild again. This time, viral accounts started pushing claims about alleged industry footage that some users tried linking directly to Erika, and the rumors exploded across every major platform almost overnight. People were reposting clips, screenshots, and theories non-stop, making it clear the internet had been waiting for something controversial to latch onto.
I have respect for the individuals that are in the industry.
A little bacon, baby, that's deep in there. Give them a cleavage. People want cleavage. Showcase it.
Sells, babe.
Sells. That's me.
That's against religion.
It's not. It's within the
According to the speculation spreading online, some viewers now believe the alleged footage could explain how Erika reportedly landed opportunities in television, film projects, and even how she won the Miss Arizona USA title years ago. The moment the announcer said, "New Miss Arizona USA is Erika Franson," people immediately started looking back at her rise in pageants and entertainment with a much more suspicious attitude, questioning connections, timing, and how everything came together so fast.
Was she training to become a Christian? Was she training to be able to impress people like Charlie by just always having a Bible verse? Now she can't even get out a sentence without making it somehow a Bible verse or a holy in some degree. And there's something that registers to people as off about that. Why she was actually in China, helping victims of sex trafficking. No, the truth is that Erika was just following her boyfriend. I kind of view this as her groupie year.
For months now, Candace Owens has reportedly been taking a deep dive into Erika's past, digging through old interviews, public records, and timelines while raising questions about parts of Erika's story that some people online believe do not fully add up. One area getting major attention involves the period Erika said she spent in China, connected to situations tied to exploitation-related work.
Her boyfriend at the time is Josh Harrelson. Josh Harrelson is playing for the Miami Heat. Okay, so you got a basketball player who was in his prime, and he is dating the Arizona beauty queen. And I would also like to note that this is 2013. So we are 5 years before she met Charlie,
which has sparked non-stop debate across social media. At the same time, none of those claims have been confirmed, and Erika's supporters have continued strongly pushing back against the rumors and speculation spreading online. Some reports that surfaced online also claim that during that time, Erika may have been traveling internationally with her boyfriend years before the widely talked about encounter with Charlie Kirk reportedly took place.
Cheers, everyone.
This is ridiculous. This strong.
New Miss Arizona USA 2012 is Erika Franson.
That part of the timeline immediately grabbed attention because people online started comparing old details, interviews, and public appearances to see if the stories matched up. The boyfriend being mentioned in those discussions was Josh Harrelson, a professional basketball player who had connections to the Miami Heat during that period. According to online claims from people described as close to the situation, Erika allegedly lived with Josh and regularly traveled wherever his basketball career took him, including long stretches in China. Still, the full context behind those claims remains disputed, and many details have never been independently confirmed.
Say, like, your mother taught you Christianity. My mother taught me Christianity. No, your mother allowed your boyfriends to live in the house too and have sleepovers. That's like the opposite of coming from a deeply faithful Christian household. Letting the boyfriend sleep in the house with your daughter is like, so I would never in a million years allow my daughter to have her boyfriend sleep over.
That timeline became another major talking point for critics who argued it did not fully line up with the public image Erika later presented about her lifestyle and personal background during those years. As more conversations spread across social media, people kept digging deeper into old stories, trying to connect pieces together and question what was accurate versus what may have been exaggerated online. Erika has also spoken publicly about learning Christianity through her mother, Lori. But critics online have questioned parts of that narrative too, adding even more controversy to the discussion. The controversy reportedly grew even bigger after online claims suggested that Lori allegedly allowed Erika to spend nights at her boyfriend's home during her younger years.
I locked myself in my room, basically turned into a hermit for about a good 8 months. The only person I would see outside of my family was my pastor's wife, and we would go to the church and she would just pour into me every single day.
That topic quickly turned into another heated debate across social media, with users arguing over what those reports might mean compared to the values and lifestyle Erika later promoted so publicly and consistently. Critics especially focused on whether her earlier personal life matched the image she eventually built online. At the same time, many of these personal claims remain unconfirmed, and no official evidence has fully backed up several of the stories spreading online. Even so, the discussions have only gotten louder as old details, photos, and alleged accounts from people claiming they knew Erika during those years continue resurfacing across different platforms. Another major allegation gaining attention online.
Pastor Terry Christ has a very interesting background. So he is very good friends with Brian Houston, who was the founder of Hillsong. And like you said, he was very much he covered up his father's pedophilia for years, and he actually never got charged for it. And so Brian Houston resigned eventually, and then right afterwards, Pastor Terry Christ also resigned from his church that he was leading, but he said it wasn't related.
Involves claims that Erika intentionally studied and trained herself to fit into the role of a Christian influencer, instead of naturally arriving at that identity through a personal spiritual journey. According to reports circulating online, some former friends and classmates expressed surprise at the public persona she presents today, saying they barely recognized the deeply religious and highly polished image compared to the person they remembered from years earlier. Those comments added even more fuel to the nonstop online speculation surrounding her past and public image. Some people who allegedly knew Erika during those years
We ordered our food, and then that's when the grilling started happening. Like, that's when the interview process started happening. So I'm like, okay, this is a legit interview. Like, let's go. I'm glad I had my coffee. Like, I'm ready to debate you about Aristotle and Socrates, and you want to talk about theology? Let's do it.
Reportedly described the change in her personality and public image as not just surprising, but extremely hard to connect with the person they remember from back then. According to online discussions, many of those conversations keep circling back to the 8-month period Erika publicly described as a time of isolation, spiritual growth, and stepping away from the world to focus on herself and her faith. Critics looking at that timeline through a different perspective now argue those 8 months may have been the period when Erika allegedly reshaped her entire public identity from the ground up. Some online commentators claim she carefully built and practiced the polished image that the public, and eventually Charlie Kirk, would later become familiar with.
So if you're expecting to marry someone that I was blessed with, like a Charlie, you have to be the type of woman that will attract a Charlie. Are you going to church? Are you going to Bible study? Did you tell your pastor that you are ready for the Lord to bring into your life the man that you've been praying for?
Those theories have spread quickly across social platforms as people continue analyzing old interviews, timelines, and public appearances. At the same time, former classmates and others claiming personal knowledge of that period have questioned whether the transformation happened naturally or was more intentional than Erika has publicly described. Still, those claims remain unverified, and the supporters strongly disagree with the criticism, arguing that major personal and spiritual growth can happen over time and should not automatically be treated as suspicious just because the changes were noticeable and significant. According to Erika's own version of events, the only people she stayed in contact with during those 8 months were her mother and her pastor's wife.
But just know that nothing is by mistake. Nothing. I will never forget the time I was in Israel with my husband. Well, that was the second time, but the first time with my mother on a pilgrimage. And I was standing in the ticket line. And I remember looking behind me, and in the snake of the ticket line was a guy who looked very familiar. I had no idea who he was.
Who she said spent a lot of time guiding and mentoring her throughout that period. That statement has sparked major discussion online as more conversations and claims about that chapter of her life continue surfacing from different directions. Critics now argue those months may have been a time of intense preparation, claiming Erika allegedly immersed herself in scripture, faith-centered language, and conservative Christian culture so she could later present herself as deeply informed and fully committed when she eventually crossed paths with Charlie Kirk. Those theories have spread heavily across social media, especially among users already skeptical of her public image. People discussing the situation online also claim Erika appeared to become highly knowledgeable about the Bible and Christian teachings very quickly, which some former acquaintances reportedly viewed as unusually fast compared to the person they remembered from earlier years. That contrast has become another major point of debate, though supporters continue arguing that personal faith journeys can develop rapidly and differently for every individual. The pastor that some online commentators believe played a major role in mentoring Erika during that important period has reportedly been identified as Terry Christ, along with his wife, Judith. Critics online quickly focused on Terry Christ's reported friendship with Brian Houston.
And I told my mom, this guy looks so familiar. And as a typical mother, she said, go and say hi. No. We were late for our flight, and I'm not going to come off like a crazy person that's just weird. That ended up being Charlie. Nothing is by coincidence.
The well-known pastor who became surrounded by major public controversy after allegations surfaced claiming he helped conceal misconduct connected to his father. Those past headlines immediately pulled even more attention toward Erika's broader religious connections and the people around her. At the same time, Erika's direct connection to those larger controversies remains based mostly on online discussion, speculation, and commentary rather than confirmed facts. Supporters continue pushing back strongly against attempts to tie her personally to situations involving other religious figures simply because of overlapping associations or public appearances. The conversation reportedly expanded even further after Erika later launched her Make Heaven Crowded Again tour alongside Pastor Greg Laurie from Harvest Christian Fellowship. According to reports discussed online, as of early 2026, Harvest Christian Fellowship and Greg Laurie had reportedly been named in multiple consolidated federal lawsuits connected to serious misconduct allegations and overseas church-related operations tied to Romania. Those reports added another layer of controversy to the nonstop online debate surrounding Erika and the people linked to her public journey. Those allegations are still part of ongoing legal proceedings, and no claims should be treated as proven.
I find all of this to be remarkably suspicious. The most suspicious element for me is Erika pretending she does not remember how she met Tyler Boyer. And both of them changing their stories. Tyler Boyer responded to somebody on X and said he met her He met Erika at the Trump rally, but he maybe forgot. Maybe he had another long night in Romania, but he maybe forgot, but he had already given a speech at Charlie's memorial and stated that Erika called him and said, "How can I help?" And then he put her behind Trump. So you had to know her before the rally to put her, if she called you, said, "How can I help?" And also, why was she calling you to say, "How can I help?" Erika had a pretty big life. And then Erika tells me that she knew him through some congressman. She thinks it could have been a senator from Arizona. She thinks, but she's not sure.
Unless they are confirmed through official records or verified findings. Even so, the growing number of reported connections has pushed many people online to ask bigger questions about how Erika was able to rise so quickly inside religious and conservative spaces, and who may have helped open important doors for her behind the scenes. What started as simple curiosity about Erika's background reportedly turned into a much larger internet investigation, with former classmates, old acquaintances, online commentators, and independent researchers all digging through timelines, interviews, public appearances, and social connections at the same time. Across social media, users began comparing clips, screenshots, and older statements while searching for possible contradictions or details they believed deserved more attention. As more claims and theories continued surfacing online, the debate over whether Erika's public image was completely genuine or carefully built through strategy and planning only became louder. Supporters still argue the accusations rely heavily on speculation, while critics insist the growing number of questions surrounding her past keeps the controversy alive and constantly expanding across the internet. Despite all the controversy tied to the different allegations and lawsuits being discussed online, Pastor Greg Laurie continued appearing publicly at major events and reportedly remained highly connected within influential evangelical circles.
I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than go. I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I just don't operate that way. But I always thought it was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another.
Reports even noted that he was among a group of religious leaders invited to the Oval Office to pray with the president as recently as March of this year, which immediately brought even more online attention to the broader network of people connected to Erika. That detail only intensified the nonstop questions surrounding Erika's relationships, connections, and the circles she reportedly aligned herself with over the years. One of the most debated subjects online involves Erika's past comments about not drinking and not dating while living in New York. Critics argue those statements helped create a cleaner, more conservative-friendly image that appealed strongly to the audience she was trying to reach, while supporters say people are unfairly twisting personal stories and taking old comments out of context. Some online commentators pushed the speculation even further, claiming Erika allegedly shaped an entire lifestyle image and carefully polished personality around what they believed Charlie Kirk would admire most in a future partner and wife. Those claims remain heavily disputed and unverified, but they have continued fueling massive debate across social media as people keep analyzing her public transformation and rise in conservative spaces. That theory picked up even more attention after viewers revisited Erika's interview with Barry Weiss, where she said directly, "If you want to attract a man like Charlie Kirk, you have to be the type of woman who can attract a Charlie Kirk." Online critics immediately locked onto that quote, with some arguing it sounded like a surprisingly open admission of exactly what people had been speculating about for months. Across social media, users reposted the clip non-stop while debating what she truly meant by the statement. Others, however, viewed the comment as completely normal relationship advice that was being exaggerated far beyond its original meaning. That split reaction perfectly captures the larger debate surrounding Erika right now, with two totally different interpretations forming around the same interviews, comments, and public behavior. One side sees strategy and careful image building, while the other sees ordinary personal growth and ambition being unfairly twisted into controversy. Critics have also reportedly started questioning the story of how Erika and Charlie first met, challenging whether the encounter was truly random and accidental the way it has been publicly described. According to claims spreading online with increasing detail, Erika's mother, Lori, and an alleged former contact, Tyler Bowyer, may have helped place Erika around conservative political and social circles long before the public ever heard the famous airport story. Those allegations remain unverified and have not been officially confirmed through reliable sources. But they have reportedly changed how many online observers now view the entire backstory of Erika and Charlie's relationship. What many people once viewed as a natural, faith-centered relationship built around shared beliefs and similar values is now being questioned much more aggressively online. Critics argue that the introductions, networking, and social proximity that eventually connected Erika and Charlie may have been far more intentional and carefully planned than the public story originally suggested. Supporters strongly reject those claims, but the debate surrounding how their relationship truly began continues spreading across social media and gaining major attention. Online commentators have reportedly gone as far as digging through old photos, event appearances, and documented social connections in an attempt to trace how connected Erika may have already been within influential conservative circles before Charlie's name was ever publicly linked to hers. Across social media, people have been building timelines and comparing public records, trying to figure out whether the relationship developed naturally or through carefully built connections behind the scenes. The full story remains heavily disputed, but the amount of attention and effort being poured into these online investigations shows just how seriously many people are taking the questions surrounding Erika's rise and public image. Then, Candace Owens added another major twist that reportedly changed how a lot of viewers looked at the famous airport story altogether. Candace publicly claimed that she was standing right beside Charlie during the exact moment Erika later described as their life-changing first meeting. Critics immediately focused on the fact that Erika's retelling of the story reportedly never mentioned Candace being there at all. That omission quickly became a huge topic online, with some commentators arguing it may have helped make the encounter sound more spontaneous, accidental, and romantic than it actually was. Supporters, however, pushed back hard, saying leaving out smaller details from a personal story does not automatically prove intentional deception. Supporters argue the missing detail about Candace's presence could simply come down to different memories or a different focus when telling the story. But critics online treated the omission as something much more deliberate and important. The disagreement quickly turned into another major debate across social media, with both sides interpreting the same moment in completely different ways. Candace also reportedly claimed that the airport meeting was not truly random at all, alleging that Lori played a major role behind the scenes and specifically encouraged Erika to approach Charlie at that exact moment. According to those allegations spreading online, Charlie had supposedly already been on Lori and Erika's radar for quite some time before the public timeline suggests they first became aware of him. Those claims remain unverified, but they have added even more intensity to the non-stop speculation surrounding how the relationship actually began. These allegations remain unverified and strongly disputed, but many online commentators say the reason the claims continue gaining attention is because of how detailed Candace has been when describing what she believes happened behind the scenes. Critics argue that level of specificity gave the story much more staying power online compared to ordinary rumors or vague internet speculation. According to discussions spreading across platforms, when the airport encounter reportedly did not immediately lead to the connection people expected, some critics claim Tyler Bowyer allegedly helped create another opportunity for Erika and Charlie to interact. Online theories suggest Tyler may have already been speaking to Charlie about Erika for months before setting up what publicly appeared to be a normal business-related meeting. Those allegations have fueled even more curiosity about how much planning may have existed behind the scenes before the relationship became public. Another detail that reportedly caught major attention online was the claim that Tyler is often described by internet investigators as a key figure in bringing Erika and Charlie together. Because of that, critics were surprised when Erika publicly said she could not clearly remember exactly how she first met Tyler Bowyer. That statement immediately triggered skepticism online, with some people arguing it seemed difficult to believe someone would forget meeting a person who allegedly played such an important role in shaping the direction of their future relationship and public life. Supporters, however, continue insisting that memory gaps around older introductions are normal and do not prove anything suspicious. People continuing to dig through old timelines and public connections reportedly believe that Lori, Erika, and Tyler Bowyer may have known each other far longer and in much deeper ways than what has ever been publicly acknowledged. Some online commentators claim the connections could trace back to Arizona charter school networks and overlapping political circles dating as far back as 2010, which has only added more curiosity and speculation around how long these relationships may have existed behind the scenes. Candace reportedly pushed those claims even further by suggesting the connections may also stretch into international projects and operational contacts tied to places like Romania and Afghanistan. Those allegations have sparked intense debate online and remain completely unverified through independent confirmation. Even so, some internet investigators continue treating the claims as areas they believe deserve more scrutiny and timeline analysis. Another detail that quickly exploded across social media involved a movie trailer Erika reportedly appeared in back in November 2010 for a project called November Renaissance. The film reportedly centered around a female spy involved in high-level corporate espionage tied to a global organization, which immediately grabbed attention from online commentators already analyzing Erika's background. Users also pointed out that the project was reportedly filmed around Fort Huachuca and Sierra Vista, locations widely known for military intelligence and defense-related connections, adding even more intrigue and speculation to the growing online discussions. The importance of those filming locations, especially when connected to the larger claims being discussed online, still remains purely speculative. But in a story already surrounded by rumors about political networks, influence, and possible intelligence-related connections, many online commentators say details like that naturally attract huge attention and become difficult for people to ignore. According to Candace's ongoing investigation and the conversations spreading online, critics argue the story goes much deeper than just one meeting, one project, or one connection. Some claim Erika was not simply someone who naturally connected with Charlie through shared faith and values, but instead a person allegedly driven by ambition, visibility, and access to powerful circles. Critics discussing the situation online claim she consistently pursued opportunities that placed her around cameras, influential figures, media spaces, and political networks, even when some of those environments later became controversial or heavily scrutinized. Some alleged former acquaintances have reportedly described Erika as highly focused on climbing social and political ladders, though those descriptions remain disputed and should not be treated as established fact. Supporters strongly reject the narrative critics are building and argue that ambition, networking, and career growth should not automatically be turned into evidence of manipulation. Still, according to the people pushing these theories online, that alleged pattern is exactly why old clips, past projects, and earlier connections tied to Erika are now being re-examined with far more intensity than ever before. What once looked to many people like ordinary networking, career opportunities, or random life decisions is now being viewed very differently by some online commentators. Critics argue those moments may actually represent parts of a much larger and long-term strategy focused on building influence, gaining access to powerful circles, and creating connections across political, media, and religious spaces, all at the same time. Supporters strongly reject that interpretation, saying the entire narrative relies too heavily on hindsight and turns normal professional growth into something suspicious after the fact. They argue that networking, public appearances, and relationship building are common parts of media and political careers and should not automatically be treated as evidence of hidden motives. Even so, critics continue insisting that the timing of certain events, overlapping relationships, and what they describe as inconsistencies in public stories raise questions they believe deserve clearer answers instead of being dismissed outright. According to online discussions, even Erika's Miss Arizona win is now being re-examined by people deeply invested in the story. Some critics claim she had spent years intentionally preparing for that competitive world by building connections, developing relationships, and surrounding herself with people they believe could help elevate her visibility and reputation within those circles. And with Candace Owens reportedly making it clear that she has no plans to slow down or step away from digging into Erika's past, many viewers now believe even bigger revelations and new claims could still be coming. The non-stop online attention surrounding the story shows no signs of fading anytime soon, especially as more people continue revisiting old interviews, timelines, and public connections looking for answers and possible inconsistencies. What do you think about all these allegations, online theories, and the larger pattern critics believe they are seeing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with anyone following the story because this debate is still heating up, and people online are convinced the conversation is far from over.